welcome to the Black Educated Tea Podcast. I'm your host, Makeda Marie, and today's episode is Are You Where You Want to Be? But as always, before we get into the tea, let's get into this tea. So I am actually drinking an 1111 tea today by Oasis Vibe. Really good tea, really good benefits, one of my favorites. Probably the 1111 and the Goddess tea are my two favorites. Absolutely love them because of the benefits, the taste, just so good, so refreshed. You can drink it any time of the day because it is caffeine free. I rarely do teas with caffeine in it, but I do sometimes. But this is a caffeine free tea, 1111 tea by Oasis Vibe. Like I say, really good tea. Suggest you try it out. Really good benefits. So let's get into the topic. Are you where you want to be? When I asked myself that question, I would say partially. Just being really honest and transparent, which I am. So I'm partially where I want to be. And when I say it in that way, that only means for me that I still want to grow more. There's still more that I want to accomplish. There's still things that I want to do I have not done yet. So I'm only partially where I want to be. And for me, like I say, that's just completely being out of corporate, being a full-time business owner, successful business owner, which, that is definitely true, but I want to even be more successful where it's just to the point that I'm completely out of corporate because I love to make my own schedule. I love to do my own thing. And, corporate has been really good. I enjoy. I love corporate, but I'm just at a point that I want to move on from it. So that is definitely one detail that I want to move on from. So that's why I'm definitely not where I want to be, because it takes growth. It takes time. And, for some of us, you're probably not at that particular, position that you want to be in, or you're at a job and you do want to grow within the company, but you're just not at the position that you want to be in. Keep striving. Keep going. I had a conversation with my daughter the other day, and I was telling her that for some people that are in, really high positions or really good positions, and because I was telling her to apply for a position that's at a higher level than what she has. And I'm like, the only difference between herself and other people that are in that position is that they applied for it. Honestly, they're not more qualified than she is. She could do the job and do it better. It's just the fact that they went for it and they got the job. So a lot of times, just take that into consideration, that sometimes it's you that's holding you back. Because have you even applied for that position? You want to grow within the company, you want to level up, but have you even applied for that position? You're looking at the position, or you're looking at positions pass you by, and you're like, man, I know I can do that position, but you just haven't applied for it. And then how I look at it now too, if you have taken that step to apply for that position and you have not got the position that you want, then that's just not the position for you. And I say that a lot, and I know you all have heard me say that. What's for you is going to be for you. And it took me years to realize that as well. Because I was applying for a position I know I was overqualified for, so I had no business applying for them in the first place. Let's just be honest. But I was applying for them because I was like, I wanted to get these positions, at least grow with the company, eventually move on to other positions. But I had no business applying for them in the first place. And then when I would not get the position, I would get upset. Feelings would be hurt, and it's me, and I could have did better on the interview, and I could have did, better with the resume, and, so I had so many reasons on why I didn't get it. But bottom line was I didn't get it because it just wasn't for me. God didn't want me in that situation. He didn't want me in that position. The timing wasn't right, whatever it was. It just was not for me. So if you have applied for that position and you just didn't get it, just realize there's other positions coming that is suited and uniquely made for you. So do not give up on whatever it is. And just know you will be where you want to be, but it takes hard work. It takes hard work. I am a believer. I pray a lot. I manifest a lot. And with all of that, you still have to work for it. Some people, I hear them all the time, I've been praying and I've been praying, and, I want this, new job. I want this new position, and I want this, and, I want the success. And my number one question behind that, and I do this with a lot of my clients, with the consulting company, when they come to me and they have all of these grand ideas and things that they want to do, and I've been praying and I've been manifesting on it, my question right behind all of that is, what work have you been putting into it? Like, what research have you been doing? Have you been going to meet and conversate with other people that are already doing the business that you want to do? What are you doing to put in the work for it? Have you completed, or are you thinking about completing your LLC, your 501c3, whatever it is? What initiative are you putting into it? It's one thing to pray, it's one thing to manifest, but that's only 50% of it. The other 50% has to be work. You have to put the work into it. And whether that's countless hours of being on the computer and researches, or if that's countless hours of talking to individuals that's doing similar things to what you're doing, whatever it is, you have to put in the time. If you want to create products, when I tell you, I would be up some nights, 2 or 3 in the morning, making sure the products get out to the clients, because that's one of my babies, and I definitely want to see it flourish and grow. So I have to put in the time and put in the hours for it. So what are you doing? Have you created your website? What are you doing to make sure that your business gets where it wants to go? Faith, manifesting, and prayer is only part of it. You have to do the work. So if you are not where you want to be, what are you doing to take the necessary steps so you can be where you want to be? Because like I said, I know I'm not where I want to be. And that's because I want so much more, and I want to elevate and grow. So things that I wanted in the past, I've accomplished those things. So now there's a different level of things that I want now, and I want to accomplish those things. So I'm not exactly where I want to be, but I do be mindful, and I be grateful for where I am. I'm grateful for what I have, and I'm going to be grateful for what I achieve coming up. Because you never forget the progress that you've made thus far. Give yourself grace. Congratulate yourself. Celebrate yourself for the successes and the things that you have accomplished. Because it's so easy for us to focus on the things that we haven't done, the things we haven't accomplished, the failures, which I never look at them as failures. They're just, lessons, learned. But are you celebrating yourself with those minor wins? You just paid off a credit card. You applied for a position and you got an interview for it. Are you celebrating yourself with those small successes? You wanted to get your website out. Now your website is out. It's simple things that we don't congratulate ourselves on, because we have these major overall goals that we want to achieve. And so we're just focused on that top of the goal, which is graduating. That's like the top of your goal, graduating from college. That's the top of your goal. But have you celebrated those successes leading up to that? Have you celebrated you've just completed a semester and you had 4 to 5 classes? Did you celebrate yourself for that? Did you celebrate the grades that you made in that class? So whatever it is and wherever you're at, learn to celebrate yourself for where you're at, so you can prepare yourself as the growth and the elevation comes along. And that was, just talking, because that was difficult for me at times. Because I would be so focused on the major outcome and the major goal that I could not see the progress that I had made and the small steps that it took to get to that point. So just remember, whatever it is, whatever progression you made, whatever step you made, stop, celebrate yourself for whatever it is, and just enjoy the moment. And know where you want to be as well. That's another thing. Know where you want to be. Because a lot of times we and I'm guilty of that as well. I felt like I wasn't where I wanted to be, but then did I even know where I wanted to be? Did I know where I was going? So that's another thing you have to ask yourself. When you say, I'm not where I want to be in life, do you know where you want to be? Do you want to be a business owner? Do you want to be a college graduate? Do you want to be in a certain position at a position? Do you want to be a spiritual healer? Whatever it is, because it looks different for everybody. Whatever it is that you want to do, what is it that you want to do? Because that you have to know that. You have to know where you want to be and what it is that you want to be. What you want to do, you have to know those things so you can work on that. If you know that I want to have a successful trucking company, then that's what you need to focus on. If you want to be, a successful teacher, a professor eventually, over, at a certain college, or just even have your own daycare center, or just whatever it is, you want to have your own consulting company, your skincare line, whatever it is. If you I just want to be a director, or if I want to be a VP at a corporation or company or whatever, then that's what you need to strive for and start making preparation and building toward that. If, start researching and knowing what it takes to be a business owner of a daycare center. If you want to be a VP, then start looking into positions and jobs and knowing what it takes to, to be a VP. So just know, if you have to know where you want to be. So when you ask yourself, am I where I want to be? Then you have to go back and ask, well, I'm not, but where exactly do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? I have to ask myself that. I had to continuously ask myself that. When I really sat down and realized, I had so many different things going on, but I still realized I wasn't where I wanted to be. Then I had to take a step back, and I'm like, Makeda, do you really know where you want to be? Do you really know where you're going? What you want to do? And it was like, not necessarily. So then I had to start reevaluating some things, like, okay, let's sit down, let's think these things, let's write these things over. Let's really, strategize and come up with a plan on, okay, if this is where we want to be, or this is where we want to go, let's figure out what we want to do. And then everything else can start falling into place. So ask yourself that. Are you where you want to be? And if you're not, where do you want to be? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? So there's so many questions that can follow that. And just know, as I said, to give yourself congratulations on whatever the successes is, big and small. Learn how to appreciate everything that you've done to get to where you are going, so you can celebrate as those big successes come. And just like I said, celebrate the small successes as well, because they're all successes. They're all part of the progress. They're all part of progressing, and they're all part of you becoming who it is that you want to be. I would love to just hear your thoughts, your comments, and as always, this is the Black Educated Tea Podcast.